dodge. This is what great nations did. It would not be unfair to talk about the United States as having an inferiority complex during this time period and desiring that the rest of the world recognize what Americans already recognize, that America was a great nation. Guys like Teddy Roosevelt were obsessed with this. Now, Teddy Roosevelt is one of the most interesting American figures in all U.S. history. He is also just about every little American boy's favorite president. He was certainly mine. And it took me a lot of years to try to figure out why. And I think most American boys grow out of that fascination with Roosevelt, because the reason we are so fascinated as little boys with Teddy Roosevelt is because the things that motivated Teddy Roosevelt, the things that were important to Teddy Roosevelt, are the very same things that motivate little boys. He was an adventure junkie. As one associate pointed out about Teddy Roosevelt after he became president, they said, quote, "You must always remember that the president is about 6, end quote, which wasn't that untrue. The guy sort of reminds me sometimes of a heavily armed, imperialistic, racist version of Peter Pan. Always leading a troop of kids on an adventure. Now, the whole racist thing requires a little explanation, too, because racism is something you really have to grade on a curve. If you took Teddy Roosevelt out of his time period and brought him into today and sat him down, he would make Archie Bunker look like a liberal. He would be a screaming racist. But if you grade him on a curve and consider the average American's level of racism in the late 19th century as the benchmark, then Teddy Roosevelt is a progressive on the issue of race. But when he talks about race, he's not talking about it in a KKK, a Ku Klux Klan sort of way. Race in the late 19th century referred to not just ethnicity, as we would use it today, but also culture and a number of other factors that played into their idea of social Darwinism that we mentioned earlier. Why is this race higher or lower on the cultural scale and survival of the fittest and all that kind of stuff that they thought about at the time? To those people, the idea of national greatness was connected to warfare. Fighting in and of itself was valuable simply because of the side benefits it conveyed. It conveyed benefits to a country, and it conveyed benefits to the individuals who fought in conflicts. The 1890s, many historians have written, was a period sort of psychological